God, I fucking love the NBA playoffs. If we're being honest, it's the actual best time of the year. Like, fuck Christmas, I'm here for April, May, and June. Growing up in the 2010s, I had the pleasure of watching some absolutely amazing playoff games. The Clippers' 24-point comeback against the Grizzlies in 2012, Dame's series winner against the Rockets in 2014, the founding of LeBronto, Game 7 of Celtics Cavaliers in 2018, and none of those games even made the list. This was a fun list to make. These are the top 10 NBA playoff games of the 2010s. Number 10, Miami versus Boston, Game 6 of the 2012 Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, it's LeBron's best game. How are you going to leave it off the list? Game 6 of the 2012 Eastern Conference Finals, where, lest we forget, the Heatles were probably one loss away from being broken up. LeBron James looked at that prospect and said, "Fuck that." LeBron single-handedly beat the Celtics, pouring in 45, 15, and 5 in a game that was really never in doubt. It ranks low on the list because, well, yeah, but it was and still is amazing to watch. Also, it gave us that look, which is, it's just iconic. Number 9, Wizards vs. Hawks, Game 3 of the 2015 Eastern Conference Semifinals. Paul Pierce gets clowned on a lot nowadays, and mostly I think we can all agree for good reason. Yeah, you were a better player than Dwayne Wade and were a better wing shooter than Klay Thompson. Yep, sure, Paul, we'll go with that. But I think it's important that we remember that Paul Pierce in his prime was one of the most clutch players of his generation, and games like this are why. The 5th-seeded Wizards led the top-seeded Hawks. Hey, you guys remember when the Hawks were the top seed in the East? Wish I didn't. Anyway, the series was tied 1-1 in Game 3 with the Wizards being up by 17 going into the 4th. The Hawks came all the way back to tie the game, but Pierce decided not on this night. Pierce got the ball at the free throw line and banked in a ridiculous fadeaway jump shot over 3 Hawks to seal the game for the Wizards. Number 8, Clippers-Warriors, Game 2 of the 2019 Western Conference First Round. The largest comeback in NBA playoff history, made even more impressive considering who it was done against. The 8th-seeded Clippers, led by Danilo Gallinari, Montrezl Harrell, and Lemon Pepper Lou, completed a 31-point comeback on the road at Oracle Arena against the 2-time defending champion Golden State Warriors. When the Warriors went up by 31 with 7:31 left in the third quarter, the Clippers, according to ESPN, had only a 0.1% chance of winning, and apparently that was enough. The Clippers chipped away at the lead the entire third and fourth quarter, and honestly, you didn't really realize they were doing it because it was happening so quickly. Landry Shamet finally put the Clippers up with a 3-pointer, and after Steph missed his chance to give the Warriors the lead, Montrezl Harrell sealed the game at the line. Biggest comeback in playoff history complete. Number 7, Dallas vs. Miami, Game 2 of the 2011 NBA Finals. Another comeback, and although this one was not by nearly as much, it's more impressive because of the stage. The Clippers did their comeback in the first round. The Dallas Mavericks did theirs in the NBA Finals. Just when it was looking like the Miami Heat were going to roll to a second straight win and take a 2-0 lead in the series, Dirk Nowitzki made the first big statement of his legendary 2011 NBA Finals. Dirk brought the Mavericks all the way back before sliding past Chris Bosh for the left-handed layup to give the Mavericks the lead. The Heat had one final chance, but D-Wade's running 3 was just off the mark. Unfucking believable. Number 6, Trailblazers vs. Thunder, Game 5 of the 2019 Western Conference First Round. This game was a fucking Disney movie. The first half was relatively close, pretty standard back and forth. I mean, if we're being honest though, it was a 1-point game at halftime, pretty much due entirely to the fact that Dame had 34 first half points. Then around the 3-minute mark of the third quarter, Dame hit a 3 that put the Blazers up 9, and every Blazer fan, myself included, is thinking we're gonna wrap this one up, put a bow on it, and cruise right into the second round. Then in a move so out of nowhere it would make Anakin's turn to the dark side blush, the Thunder went on a 30-6 run to take a 15-point lead with only 7:45 to go. What? And every fan in that arena, myself included, got that nice sinking feeling we always get when the Blazers blow a big opportunity. But the Blazers refused to die.
You can't kill me!
They cut the lead down to 8 with 3:30 to go, forcing a Thunder timeout. Then during that timeout, Yusuf Nurkic, our beloved center, who lest we forget had just snapped his fucking leg in half only a few months prior, he showed up on the bench. As you could probably expect, this was a real shot of adrenaline to a crowd that was already pretty hyped as they went fucking nuclear for the Bosnian Beast. Then the game finally ended with Dame walking Paul George down the court and hitting a 37-foot buzzer beater in his face to win the series, as every single person in that arena screamed with joy, myself included. Number 5, Raptors vs. 76ers, Game 7 of the 2019 Eastern Conference Semifinals. Fucking hell, Kawhi, you couldn't let Dame's buzzer beater be the top post on r/NBA for more than a few weeks, could ya? After there being only a handful of game winners that won a playoff series in NBA history, in 2019 we were lucky enough that we got 2 in 1 year. And both of them were pretty damn crazy. Compared to the Blazers-Thunder game, I would make the argument that this game wasn't quite as good from beginning to end. It was more standard back and forth between two good teams in a Game 7. You know, there wasn't as much drama as the Blazers-Thunder game, but it takes a higher spot because as good as the ending was in the Blazers-Thunder game, this one was better. With the Raptors up 2 with only 10 seconds to go, Kawhi actually missed a free throw that would have put them up 3. The Sixers then raced down the court and Jimmy Butler got straight to the rim with honestly not much resistance considering the circumstances. After a Raptors timeout, Kawhi gets the ball at the top of the key and decides I'm gonna run to the sideline for some reason before throwing the ball to the fucking moon with Embiid draped all over him. It eventually comes down, bounces on the rim about 70 or so times, and finally it drops through the hoop. Insane. Number 4, Trailblazers vs. Nuggets, Game 3 of the 2019 Western Conference Semifinals. A game that was so good, it nearly made me pass out from excitement. You know, for a team that really hasn't had much playoff success ever, the Blazers were in a lot of good playoff games in the 2010s. Weirdly enough, they actually managed to win most of them. Brandon Roy's miracle comeback against the Mavericks in 2011. Dame's series clincher against Houston was probably number 11 on this list. The aforementioned death of the Westbrook era in Oklahoma City. But this one takes the cake. Two division rivals battling it out in a game that went 4 overtimes, only the second time that's happened in the playoffs and the first since 1953. On the Blazers side, both Mo Harkless and Enes Kanter were affected by injuries, and yet Harkless played 45 minutes and Kanter played 56. Not to be outdone was Nikola Jokic, who played an unbelievable 65 minutes. And this game didn't just last forever. It was good. Dame, having just come off ending the Thunder, had a good look to win it in the second overtime, but missed. Paul Millsap putting the Nuggets up 4 with 30 seconds left in the third overtime and totally thinking he just sealed the game. Look at that fucking grin. Former Blazer Will Barton just not missing shots in the fourth overtime. Rodney Hood coming off the bench to play the role of hero by hitting this huge 3 to put the Blazers up for good, which yes, that is the moment that almost made me pass out. Thankfully, I did stay upright. Jokic going to the line with a chance to tie the game, but missing the first free throw to one of the loudest Moda Center reactions I have ever heard. And I was there for both Dame shots, by the way. The game finally ended when CJ picked off a Paul Millsap pass to finally end this classic. Number 3, Warriors vs. Thunder, Game 6 of the 2016 Western Conference Finals. I mean, when a game gives birth to a new nickname, it was probably pretty good. And this game was the birth of Game 6 Klay. When he's on his game, there is genuinely no player that I fear more than Klay Thompson. Even Steph doesn't seem to be quite as good if they're both at their best. Klay scored 60 points in only 29 minutes in 2017 against the Pacers, in the process becoming the only NBA player ever to score 60 in less than 30 minutes. He set the NBA record for points scored in a quarter with 37 against the Kings in 2015. And lest we forget, it's Klay, not Steph, who holds the record for most threes in a game, dropping 14 against the Bulls in 2018. This dude legit scares me, and I think because of this game, he's still giving Thunder fans nightmares to this day. Game 6 of the 2016 Western Conference Finals, where the Oklahoma City Thunder were attempting to hold off the 73-win Golden State Warriors. Klay had been on fire the entire game, but I think it was this 3 with 5 minutes to go that got every OKC fan feeling extremely nervous. Sure enough, Klay would cap the Warriors' comeback, hitting a 3 with 1:35 to go, his 11th of the night, which was an NBA record at the time that put the Warriors up for good. Both Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook went ice cold in the fourth quarter, and the Warriors capitalized with who else but Klay himself sealing the win from the free throw line. Not only was this game an incredible watch, it also had some unforeseen consequences. Number 2, Heat vs. Spurs, Game 6 of the 2013 NBA Finals. Just like the previous entry was the birth of Game 6 Klay, this was the birth of no headband LeBron. Definitely the best, but also my least favorite version of LeBron. I just love the headband. I can't help it. It's what I grew up with. Game 6 of the 2013 Finals, with the Heat trying to stave off elimination and the Spurs trying to claim their first championship since 2007. The hype was there for this game, and it delivered. Kawhi Leonard, who was just a role player at the time, showed flashes of the superstar he would one day become, pouring in 22 points and 11 rebounds. 36-year-old Tim Duncan gave the Spurs 30 points and 17 rebounds. Probably should have been 18, but we'll get to that. Meanwhile, LeBron carried the Heat with a 32, 11, and 10 triple-double. But let's talk about this man, Ray Allen, the guy who had defected from the Celtics to join the Heat, and boy, are they glad he did. With the Heat down only 3 after Kawhi went 1 of 2 at the line. Hey, second time on the list that Kawhi went 1 of 2 at the line in a big spot. LeBron got up a 3 to tie, but missed it. Chris Bosh grabbed the rebound and found Allen in the corner. And, well, take it away, Mike Breen.
Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Arguably the greatest shot in NBA history. And we still had overtime. Probably should address the elephant in the room, though. For some reason that people are still trying to figure out to this day, Tim Duncan, who again had 30 points and 17 rebounds, and is known as one of the greatest defenders in NBA history, was not on the floor for this play. Not sure about that one, Pop. Anyway, moving on to the end of overtime. With only a second to go in overtime, the Spurs threw the ball across the court to get Danny Green a look at a 3 to tie, but Chris Bosh had other ideas, and the Heat forced the Game 7, where they would ultimately prevail. An unbelievable game, but not quite the best. And number 1, Cleveland Cavaliers versus Golden State Warriors, Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals. The best game of the 2010s, and in my opinion, the best NBA game of all time. This game had everything. Crazy star power. LeBron, Steph, Kyrie, Klay, Draymond, Love, Iggy, Matthew Dellavedova, huge stars, all of them. Ridiculously intriguing narratives. The 73-win Warriors trying to officially become the greatest team of all time. The Cavs trying to become the first team in NBA history to complete a 3-1 comeback in the NBA Finals. Steph trying to cement himself as the new face of the NBA. LeBron trying to finally deliver on his promise and bring a championship to his hometown after 52 years. And that was all before the game even started. The game itself was unbelievable. It was low scoring, which I like, makes every basket that much more valuable. There was the unlikely hero with Draymond Green dropping 32 points with 15 boards and 9 assists. There were 21 lead changes. Steph's killer turnover with 5 minutes to go when he tried to throw the ball behind his back for some reason. LeBron with the best defensive play of all time blocking Iggy's layup. Kyrie's 3 to put the Cavs up for good, which by the way was the only shot made in the last 4:39 of game time. Kevin Love's insane defense preventing Steph from getting a good look at a 3. LeBron nearly making what would have been the greatest play in sports history if he had finished that dunk over Draymond. Then stepping to the line and missing the first free throw with every LeBron hater ready to pounce like a hungry pack of lions, only for him to rattle in the second. And finally, when the buzzer sounds and LeBron collapses in tears, having finally delivered on his promise to his hometown. Cleveland, that was for you. And that's the list. Agree or disagree with the rankings? Please let me know in the comments down below. Leave any suggestions for future lists. We're always looking for new things to talk about. And don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.